It's about getting out there, remove the wall, remove the stigma. Come to us, we'll give you that help.
Now, you won't meet people more remarkable than the plumber James Anderson.
He's gained hero status in his hometown.
James Anderson's acts of kindness moved the nation.
His name is James Anderson. He's a plumber who couldn't stand seeing people getting cold because they didn't have enough money for boiler repairs.
We put a shout out on social media, a lot of people see it, a lot of people share it, so that's how we get the support coming in.
Known as Britain's kindest plumber.
We've analysed those social media accounts.
So far, he's helped over 2 million people across the country receiving a special award for his work and even catching the attention of actor Hugh Grant and his family.
Uncovering false and misleading posts, allegations that vulnerable people have been exploited.
I cared for her for a couple of years, and to know that it's just horrible.
He was going in and helping them in one sense, but then he was taking their dignity.
You do not have consent for those photos to be circulated. Probably the most vulnerable I've ever been in my entire life.
That has shaken me to the core. She had her news ready to commit suicide. A lie. This complete lie.
It's a post that's gone with a photograph of my mum in a bedroom.
That's awful. It really brings it all back, how vulnerable I really am.
We spent over £3 million, okay? We've helped over 2 million people. 2,150,000 to be exact.
Is £3 million correct, yes or no?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
They made up figures, so they're guesstimates?
They're guesstimates, yes, yeah, guesstimates.
For the first time, James Anderson gives his side of the story.
I've had nothing but 3 years now of intimidation, bullying, harassment, attacks.
I've been lying, James, to raise money and exploit elderly people.
I know I've done it wrong. I apologise, but what can I do? I haven't got a magic stick, I'm a Harry Potter.
That is a desperate story.
It's a desperate story, but also the two accounts can't be true. There's one a few months earlier where she has passed away, and there's one here where she's suicidal.
We're BBC journalists who spent weeks on the ground in Burnley.
I think left here is we're looking for bungalows.
Investigating serious allegations.
That's the outside of the house, and that's the patio.
Against James Anderson and his community interest company, DEFA. This is the story of what we uncovered and how. First, we analysed and verified hundreds of his company's social media posts over the past 5 years. One story stood out. This post from June 2022. An emoji covers an elderly woman's face. James Anderson is smiling. It says, "She was upset and desperate. She lived 53 miles away in Preston. I drove as fast as I could. When I got there, she had a noose ready to commit suicide." The account then says she is safe living with family. But we discovered this image had been used again and again and again. This is the same woman without the emoji. 18 months earlier, it reads, "Good night and God bless my sweet angel." And again, here in colour, it reads, "She is my friend. She has sadly passed away, gone to a better place that cares." The truth is that the woman died years before the post saying James Anderson saved her life. But the image has been used repeatedly. Same woman, separate stories. Many are linked to fundraising pages. We discovered the woman was called Joyce.
Horrible, upsetting. To know that it's just horrible.
Steph helped Joyce for 2 years. Do you remember that house?
Yeah.
Was that house in Preston?
No. Not going to disclose where, but it's definitely not Preston.
This is the first time she's seen the social media post. So is that true?
No, none of that's true with Joyce. All a complete lie. I think it's all a farce to try and gain more money out of people.
We wanted to corroborate the carer's story. A week later, a family member agreed to meet us, Joyce's daughter.
This was one knock on the door I was really worried about. Joyce's kitchen, Joyce's cardigan, t-shirt, jumper, her hair.
Andrea had no idea her mother's image had been posted on social media by Deffa.
Shared with permission. A lady, 84 years old, rang Deffa and spoke to myself. She was upset and desperate. She lived 53 miles away in Preston. Well, that's not true. That's not true. I drove as fast as I could. When I got there, she had her noose ready to commit suicide. All she wanted was hot water. That is just not true.
How do you describe that post?
A lie. It's a complete lie.
A lady rang me from Preston in Lancashire. Can you help me?
James Anderson repeatedly spoke about the story on camera.
I knocked on the front door, no answer. There was a bay window coming out, knocked on that, no answer. So I went round the back, and before my eyes was a lady standing on a chair with a noose around her neck.
In her words, what's the point of you living anymore?
So I had to ring the police, I had to ring the daughter. I cried, I kicked the door in.
Before my eyes was a lady standing on a chair with a noose around her neck at 84 years of age.
How do you sleep at night? How can you exploit vulnerable people?
We also found these images connected to Joyce's story. A noose on a floor posted by Deffa.
But this is quite extraordinary. It's had 610,000 views. And that's got a GoFundMe attached to it.
Yeah, well, that is just despicable. It's like vulnerable people like my mother is the money-making machine.
The BBC has found multiple examples of misleading posts. This photo of a back boiler was used 5 times over 4 years. In 2020, James Anderson insisted he attended within the hour, but our research shows the image was first used by Anderson in 2017. In others, the same images are repeated but details change, like this woman and her shower repair, used 5 times from April 2022 to August 2023. The woman's age ranges from 59 to 89 and 97. And this image claims to show a woman who died from carbon monoxide, her face blacked out. But we identified her from a previous Deffa post and learned the story is fake.
Old picture for new followers. This lady suffered domestic violence. So that's identifying her as a victim. That's a year later. It's been viewed over 8,000 times.
We also analysed these Deffa posts. In July 2022, a mum on a sofa with a young child and baby holding cash. She's identified as a previous victim of DV, domestic violence. In October that year, the image is used again. It says her only form of heating was a quilt. Then, in May 2023, nearly a year later, Deffa posts this, the same image, but all faces covered with emojis. It says, without evidence, the mother stole from the Deffa fundraising shop. I forgive her, as she may be in a dark place. And finally, in September that year, the image is used again. This time, the children's faces are covered. Months after accusing the mother of stealing, it says Deffer gave the family hope that a community cared and permission was given to use the photo. We identified the mother behind the posts. When we arrived, she'd only just learned her image had been used repeatedly by Deffer.
You do not have consent for those photos to be circulated.
This was Gemma on the phone to Deffer.
Do not patronise me and call me love, really, do not. My photo of me and my kids has been used over and over and over and over. So you've exploited me and my kids at our most vulnerable and repeatedly on social media.
Gemma agreed to talk to us and allowed us to use the posts.
Did you give permission for your children to be identified on social media?
No, not at all. When James came and helped me, he said, "Can I take your photo for transparency and evidence?" And I said, "I would rather you not. I don't want it on social media." He said, "No, it won't go on, it's for transparency," and that is it.
We found 3 fundraising pages linked to images of Gemma and her children.
When they read your story, they're moved to click through to the GoFundMe. In that case, £209,000 was raised.
We also showed Gemma the post accusing her of stealing.
Were you aware of the accusation of alleged theft? When
No.
was the first time you were aware of the alleged...
This morning, when a neighbour came down and said, "Gemma, have you seen this? Have you seen this?"
You had no idea about the social media post?
No idea at all. I just hope and pray that anyone that knows me, that has seen this, will know that that I would never do a thing like that. They've just made something that's very private to my life very, very public.
How vulnerable were you in that moment?
Probably the most vulnerable I've ever been in my entire life.
And what did James Anderson do?
Just abuse that.
Our investigation has heard from 4 former Deffer staff members.
He was going in and helping them in one sense, but then he was taking their dignity.
This woman agreed to talk to us anonymously.
There was never any forms, no one ever signed.
She spent over 2 years inside Deffer. She claims during that time there was no substantial consent process for taking photos for social media.
James would say that they're doing a job, and he would see someone accepting Deffer to do a job as a consent to take their picture and use it publicly.
Did you get people really angry on the phone?
Yeah, we'd get a couple of people who'd ring up and say, I've been sent a picture of me grandma, can you please remove it? I don't want them being on.
James Anderson told the BBC there has been a written consent process for social media pictures since early 2023.
A picture speaks 1,000 words, and if you're seeing someone in a vulnerable state, someone's going to go, "Hey up, this company is doing good here, let's donate."
We wanted answers to the serious allegations we've uncovered.
Hey, you all right? Hi, Ed from BBC News.
James Anderson agreed to talk to us.
Hey James, you okay? Nice to see you. Ed, BBC.
Inside his Deffer office in Burnley.
So she's my little princess.
Really appreciate you speaking to us to give your side of the story.
A place full of thank you cards, awards, letters of recognition for the help he's given to thousands of people.
Queen?
The King.
King there.
He says he's been a victim of a relentless online bullying campaign.
I've had nothing but 3 years now of intimidation, bullying, harassment, attacks. If I'm fighting against the trolls and against the haters every single day, which I am 7 days a week, I can't concentrate on doing what's right. The support we've given to the thousands of people everywhere, okay, speaks for itself, okay, and it does speak for itself.
But what about the false and misleading posts, starting with Joyce and the suicide attempt?
I didn't put that on.
That's from Deffer's account. Is that post true?
That post is not true, no. That is not true, because that is not the lady. To that lady's family, I apologise for any mix-up.
It's not a mix-up. The family has said that is a lie. What do you want to say to that family?
And I've just said I apologise to the family, but I will have to look further into that, onto the old account.
We also showed James the interviews when he talked about this story.
Yeah, I remember doing that video.
A lady rang me from Preston in Lancashire.
But again, I apologise to the family for any upset that this has caused.
Now, these shots of the noose were connected to GoFundMes, and one of them helped raise £78,000.
Yeah.
Now we know that the image was misleading. Will you return that money?
If people want the money returned, yes, of course I will.
Well, regardless of what people want,
yeah.
will you return that £78,000?
I'll return that £78,000 to the donors, yeah.
We also asked him about these posts. A mother accused of theft and identified as a previous victim of domestic violence.
I know exactly who she is.
She's incredibly upset.
She said upset.
She never gave you permission
She did.
to use her photographs.
She did. She did.
Or of her children.
She did. So she took items from the shop for the children, for presents like Barbie stuff, and she promised that she would come back and pay for it, and she never ever did.
Gemma strongly refutes these claims. James admitted he should have handled this story differently.
If I've upset you, I'm very sorry, and I do apologise. And maybe I should have been more cautious over the vulnerability side of it.
James did not respond to our questions about the Gainsborough shower story or the back boiler story. But he admitted these posts about the carbon monoxide death were fake.
That's disgusting, that's shocking. I haven't got a clue where that has come from.
You've described your own post as disgusting and
yes,
shocking.
Yes, I have, but it's not my post. Well, I
it
don't
is
think
your post.
Yeah, it's on Defra's post.
You cannot say it's not your post, that's not correct.
Right, okay, it's Defra's post, but how it got onto Defra's account, I don't know. That is an absolutely disgusting, misleading post, yeah, and I apologise from the bottom of my heart. That is a lie whoever's put it on you. It is a lie, too right, it's a lie.
Our investigation also revealed serious safeguarding failures.
Here we are today, a free-comic conversion that we're doing for a gentleman who's 84 years of age.
We found this video filmed by James Anderson and posted on his Facebook page.
Two of the lads starting to do a little bit of work now, earning a cup of tea.
After identifying the outside, Anderson walks into the home.
I'll go through here. Hello, sir, you okay? I'm just doing a little video. I'll show people what we're doing.
And asks this question.
You okay?
Yes.
You okay to be on this video, or do you not want to be on it?
Oh God, no.
No, okay, not a problem.
Listen again. The man being filmed clearly says, "Oh God,
you okay
no."
to be on this video, or do you not want to be on it?
Oh God, no.
No, okay, not a problem.
The BBC is not identifying the elderly man filmed. But it didn't stop with this one video. We found dozens of Defra posts using this man's image. Over several years, his story reveals intimate personal details. This post says he asked James, "Is it okay if I have a husband?" Another post says he was sorry for having a husband. Another reads, he was worried that we would not help him because he was married to a man. Many of these posts are linked to fundraising appeals on GoFundMe and a PayPal account. We added up donations worth more than £270,000.
He said it was around here.
Using identifiable details on the video posted by Defra,
we're looking for that brickwork and that garage.
It took us only an hour to locate this man's home.
There. These ones. This is it. The garage is on the right-hand side, the little railings, the red, rusty sort of coloured tarmac and the paving slabs, same coloured bricks, same little window.
We learned the man had recently passed away. And over the next 4 weeks, we spoke to his carers, solicitor and close neighbours.
Remember this?
I'll show people what we're doing. So that's the cupboard where the controls are. You okay?
We learned he did not have the capacity to give informed consent.
He would never ever agree to anything. They were quite a private couple.
This close neighbour, who we're not identifying, knew him for more than 30 years.
I think that's disgusting. You know, he was so vulnerable. He just wouldn't have understood it.
We also discovered this DEFA post. An elderly woman, who we're not identifying, is pictured in her bedroom looking away from camera. We've blurred the image, but if you zoom in, one of the attached photos shows her bank details, name, phone number and address.
Hiya.
The post led us straight to her front door. We wanted to warn her of the risks. We also told her family, and she agreed to talk to us anonymously.
So, do you remember DEFA coming round to your house?
Yes, yeah.
Do you remember them taking pictures of you for social media?
No.
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 Is that your address?
Yeah.
And are those your bank details?
Yeah.
All on that image?
Yeah.
What's your reaction to that?
Horrified. I was very happy with what the work that they did, but I'm shocked.
The image has been viewed more than 11,000 times.
That's awful.
Were you aware that it was put on social media?
No way. Never gave that a thought.
Can you just sum up how this makes you feel?
Used, really, yeah. And having been scammed before, it really brings it out all back, how vulnerable I really am.
We also warned her son. He rang DEFA straight away and asked for the post to be removed.
So essentially, it's a post that's gone with a photograph of my mum in a bedroom with all her details of a name, address, a signature, and there's 11.7 thousand views on it. It's like, what the hell are you doing in a bedroom? She doesn't know that she's had a photograph being taken. It's a massive safeguarding issue for me that old people are taking advantage of.
James Anderson told us he was aware of this post. He'd spoken to the family, apologised, and had taken the photos down from social media.
Here we are today, a free comic invasion that we're doing for a gentleman who's 84 years of age.
We also showed James this video, and he remembered it.
Yes. You okay to be on this video, or do you not want to be on it? Oh God, no. No, okay, not a problem.
What do you want to say?
I apologise. I didn't listen to it properly. I should have cut that part out or not put it on at all. I should have made sure that his identification was not known. I apologise for that.
1, 2,
yeah,
3, 4, 5. It goes on. It goes on.
Yeah.
A man who clearly says, "Do not use my image," is posted again and again and again.
I apologise for doing that.
There's a reason why you've done this, and it's to have GoFundMes.
Because that's how we support people. That's how we support people like him.
We told James we found over £270,000 raised in donations connected to this man's image.
You had no permission to use this man's image. The man is clearly filmed saying no.
Right, okay. I accept that. I apologise.
Will you return this money?
I'll return what funding is connected to that if the people who have donated it want that money back.
We've also heard claims of serious safety concerns inside DEFA.
I do recall there was a gas explosion in Burnley. I searched the database to make sure it wasn't us that had worked on it. That made me think, that's how dangerous it is.
Smoking, working on a boiler with the top off.
Yeah.
Do you remember that moment?
No, but I've seen the picture.
The BBC has verified this DEFA post about a boiler that leaks that can kill someone in the home of an elderly lady who felt sick. The front of the boiler has been removed. The man working on it has a lit cigarette in his mouth. In a later post, James Anderson says the worker is a subcontractor.
James Anderson says that there was an investigation into that. The person smoking was a subcontractor.
No. He has worked for DEFA since DEFA started.
GasSafe told the BBC the only worker registered to install and service boilers at DEFA was James Anderson.
What's your reaction to that?
Well, he shouldn't have been smoking. He had a fag in his mouth.
And your staff member
Yes.
has got a cigarette?
Yeah, and he got reprimanded for that, even though the woman allowed us to smoke in the house.
You say the last post was put up has been deleted while we look into the smoking of a subcontractor at the property.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't have been subcontractor. It should be a member of the staff.
Do you
He
admit
wasn't
that's- do you admit-
that's misleading. I should
Well,
have.
that's
That
more
should
than
have been a
misleading,
member of
that's a
staff.
lie.
That's a lie.
That's a
okay.
lie.
That should have been a member of staff, not a subcontractor.
James Anderson explained, although the DEFA worker was not GasSafe registered, he was with him at all times.
I took the face off the boiler. I'm there with them. The gas is already being isolated. It's all being done.
Are you happy
He is
for
only
somebody who's
undoing
not
the pipe
registered
work.
to be working on a boiler?
You're allowed to have people that are not registered working with you.
BBC analysis of 28 fundraising appeals on sites like GoFundMe, Just Giving and Crowdfunder suggests the business raised at least £1.2 million since 2017. We've also analysed DEFA's accounts filed on Companies House. They show DEFA purchased a property for £73,000.
Do you remember the house being bought?
He had talked to me about it and I told him that it wasn't a good idea.
The house is rented out to Anderson's extended family.
But when he was purposely purchasing that property to help family members, that's not being a community company, that's just helping family through a channel he can use.
James Anderson says the house is an investment that benefits DEFA financially. He added the family member staying there was unwell and living with a carer.
He purchased vehicles out of the DEFA account.
We were told one of those vehicles was an Audi.
He used it and drove it around, used it as his car.
How long after he bought it did he sell it on?
Roughly, it were 2 or 3 months.
James Anderson told us he was entitled to a company car, and after it was sold, all the money went back to the DEFA account. Our analysis shows from April 2021 to April 2023, cash donations to the DEFA doubled to over £1.2 million. And in April 2023, the company had over £600,000 in the bank. But just months earlier, DEFA appealed for cash, writing in a fundraising page, donations have fallen by 80% in the last 6 months.
Some serious gymnastic maths to say that's gone down by 80%.
It has the income had gone down by 80% because of the trolls.
£650,000, 21, 22. £1.25 million, 22, 23. That is not an 80% reduction.
It looked like 80% to me when I done it. When I said it, okay, it might have been a bit misleading, but the way I do my maths is by but the way I do my maths is by the whole scope of everything. It was a mistake then. I made a mistake. I am only human.
People have donated to you because they thought DEFA was going to go out of business.
Right, yeah, I can understand
And
that. I can understand that. I can understand that.
James Anderson also told the BBC every week he puts £200 back into DEFA from his wage. Any donation money left over from the financial year would be spent the following year.
We spent over £3 million.
Is £3 million correct, yes or no?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
We've helped over 2 million people. 2,150,000 to be exact.
So that's exact. That's exact.
That's...
Yeah, they made up figures, so they're guesstimates.
They're guesstimates. Yeah, guesstimates.
It's Thursday, so we have a one big thank you. Now tonight it's the turn of super plumber James Anderson from...
James Anderson, the viral sensation who inspired the nation.
Now, you won't meet people more remarkable than the plumber James Anderson.
Championed by the rich and famous.
Yeah, but get this, so far, He's helped over 2 million people across the country, receiving a special award for his work and even catching the attention of actor Hugh Grant and his family.
Showcased across the British media.
I'll apologise for the rest of my life for it.
What about Hugh Grant? He gave you £75,000.
Yes, yeah. If Hugh wants some money back, I'll send it back to him. That's not a problem, that's not an issue at all.
James Anderson, now asking for forgiveness.
Yeah, I've made mistakes. Yeah, I've done things I shouldn't have done. I've posted pictures and I haven't safeguarded correctly. But I'm going to prove to everybody that this can be the most amazing thing that it could be. With or without me, it's going to continue forever. And I apologise, I really do apologise, and I hope you can find it in your heart to accept that apology. I am really sorry, and I will make amends.